Palestinian American Cultural Center. I'm also an organizer for the Palestinian Youth Movement. I want to start by thanking the organizers who put on this event, which is demonstrating the unity of people across geography. As has been stated in so many speeches, there are people protesting in support of Palestine in the name of Quds across the entire globe, from Yemen to Iraq to Iran to Lebanon to Palestine to here in Houston. And that demonstrates that we all are able to gather with a shared vision and a shared belief in a liberated Palestine. And nothing is more powerful than demonstrating our unity. And so that's what I want to talk about today, is unity. What does unity mean? Unity is not shared ideas. It's not an abstract concept. It's a practical implementation of shared action. It's believing in a path and walking down that path. And nothing unifies the Palestinian people and the supporters of Palestine like resistance. Resistance of an oppressed people. Resistance of an occupied people who've been subjugated for decades. That is a scream for life. That is a scream for liberation. And that is the ultimate manifestation of unity. It's the practical implementation of our rejection of oppression. And so Al-Quds Day is not just a symbol of unity, it's a symbol of unity in service of resistance. I want to talk about the unity of the fronts. Have you all heard of the unity of the fronts?
Yeah. Woo!
Unity of fronts is the collective will of the Palestinian people, despite the political and geographic fragmentation faced by our people. The Nakba exiled us, but it did not only exile us, it destroyed our societies and it separated Palestinian from Palestinian. But what did resistance do? It unified Palestinians from 48 Palestine in Al-Lid, to Palestinians in Gaza, to Palestinians in the camps of southern Lebanon, to the Palestinians in Al-Quds. The unity of the fronts is what demonstrated that the biggest fear Israel has and US imperialism has is the unity of the Palestinian people. What did we see a few weeks ago? What did we see in the last week? Israel was attacked from 5 different directions. From Al-Quds, from the West Bank, from Gaza, from Lebanon, from Syria. This is the first time in my lifetime that I have seen this. The first time since 1973 that resistance took place everywhere. And this is important to recognize that not only did resistance take place, but the response of the Zionist entity was the weakest response it has ever performed. The Zionist entity destroyed 2 banana trees. It destroyed a farming village. It destroyed weapons depots, but it did not kill 1 person. It refused to even name the factions involved. It refused to even name the Lebanese resistance. That is screaming of its weakness and its fear in the face of unity of the Palestinian, Lebanese, and people of all walks of life in support of Palestinian resistance.
When people are occupied! Resistance is justified!
Resistance is justified!
When people are occupied!
When people are occupied!
Resistance is justified!
Resistance is justified! At the same time that the unity of fronts took place, we also had here a slogan. The West Bank is the shield of Al-Quds. What people don't realize is that since the Second Intifada, the West Bank has been repressed. It's been under a military occupation and an occupation administered through the Palestinian Authority. Its resistance fighters are in prisons. It's constantly dealing with raids. Its weapons are confiscated. But what we've seen over the last year, since Saif al-Quds in 2021, is the resumption of the centrality of the occupied West Bank and occupied Jerusalem in resistance. And as soon as Gaza was attacked, as soon as Lebanon was attacked, the checkpoints all over the West Bank were attacked. The factions are unified not under any banner, not under any factional banner. They're unified under the banner of resistance. And this is a development that is unlike any development I've seen in my lifetime. I've been organizing for Palestine over a decade. I witnessed every war that was waged from 2008 to 2014. And we saw with the Zionist entity in its rabid attacks and bombardment of our people in Gaza. We saw the death of children and women. We saw the destruction of civilian buildings, of hospitals, of schools. Israel did not dare to do any real damage in Gaza following the resistance under the banner of the unity of fronts. And this is a victory for the Palestinian resistance. This is a victory for the resistance across the region, the axis of resistance across the region in the face of this temporary and illegitimate entity.
لبيك يا قدس.
من المية للمية.
فلسطين عربية.
فلسطين عربية.
من المية للمية.
من المية للمية.
فلسطين عربية.
فلسطين عربية.
إسرائيل صهيونية.
إسرائيل صهيونية.
إسرائيل عنصرية.
إسرائيل عنصرية.
من المية للمية.
من المية للمية.
فلسطين عربية.
فلسطين عربية.
إسلام ومسيحية.
إسلام ومسيحية.
فلسطين عربية.
فلسطين عربية. I want to talk about another thing about unity. For the last 2 decades, we watched as imperialism and reactionary movements in the region tried to drive a wedge between Sunnis and Shias, between different sects, between different peoples, between Arab Christians and Arab Muslims. We saw as the US imperialist state attempted to drive wedges between our people in the region. But what has unified our people, what has allowed the factions across ideology and religion to unify is resistance. It's a shared project of opposition to imperialism and colonialism, a shared project of opposition to Zionism and oppression in our region, a call for unity and a call for self-determination and independence of all of our peoples in the region. We saw recently, as they enter into peace talks in Yemen, to end this cruel genocide of the Yemeni people, we see the capitulation of the Saudi state. We see them come to the table and finally decide to end its cruel war against the people of Yemen. And this is a victory of the Yemeni resistance.
Takbir! Allahu Akbar! Takbir! Allahu Akbar! Takbir! Allahu Akbar! Takbir! Allahu Akbar!
We see that the US's role in the region as an oppressive, imperialist meddler in the region is coming to an end. We see the emergence of a multipolar world, a world in which people have a right to determine their economic and political futures, a right to decide what they want their societies to look like. This is a defeat of US imperialism in the region. We are moving into a new era. We are moving into a new era that will bring forth freedom and liberation and equality and unity of the peoples of the region. This is something that we have taken decades to build. And in this moment, right now, as we bring ourselves together in the name of Al-Quds, in the name of Al-Quds Day, we are brought together as Sunni and Shia, right? And I salute the Shia community for organizing the event. I salute the Shia of the world who stood up for Palestine unconditionally and unwaveringly for multiple decades. And this is in the face of Arab normalization by reactionary regimes. This is in the face of capitulation from actors who have turned their backs on Palestine. And despite that, the Shia of the world, of the region, of this city have stood with Palestine unconditionally and unwaveringly. And we as Palestinians salute you. We thank you for your support. We thank you for your allegiance to Palestine and your allegiance to truth and your allegiance to liberation and your allegiance to dignity and your allegiance to a rejection of humiliation and oppression. We salute you and we appreciate you, and thank you for having us, and thank you for hosting this protest, and thank you for always speaking for Palestine. Free, free Palestine!
Free, free Palestine!
Free, free Palestine!
Free, free Palestine!
From Nablus to Jenin!
From Nablus to Jenin!
We will know what freedom means!
We will know what freedom means!
From Nablus to Jenin!
From Nablus to Jenin!
We will know what freedom means!
We will know what freedom means!
There is only one solution!
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 Intifada revolution!
Intifada revolution!
Intifada revolution!
Intifada revolution!
There is only one solution!
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 Intifada revolution!
Intifada revolution!
Intifada revolution!
Intifada revolution!
Thank you, everyone.